welcome to another edition of the Problem Solvers Forum. We've been away for a while because I was visiting in Africa, taking care of some business. Mr. Jackson had Chris Jackson, my co-host, had some other issues he had to tend to. He will not be with us tonight, but
Okay.
I'm going to show you he will be on the next podcast. Tonight we have Mr. Daniel Menyon. Daniel is a friend and brother. Um, he's a what they call a true social entrepreneur, and I always call him a dot connector, one who sees the forest for the trees. Some of us who been knowing Mr. Menyon for a while, um, we remember when he had this concept of helping uh, students, the young people in Rivercess, the Moweh area, and we just thought that that dream and concept might never get to fruition, but of course it did. It got into this big fruition, brick and mortar fruition. So the night he was telling us about the Daisy Bopah Academy, is that the name of it?
Yes.
Take it from there, Daniel. Tell us about what the current status is and your projection, where you want it to be in the next 5 years, and how many students are there, how many acres of land that,
Well,
because I saw the picture, it seems to be a massive undertaking. You know,
yeah.
the schools are
Well,
already in schools in progress already, right?
yeah. I think the better way to put it is it is a crazy undertaking, not just massive, but crazy.
Mm,
Um, it's it everything starts with a dream, and basically, Joe, you just take step by step. You have to have passion,
right.
and if you have the passion, um, and you take and you plow through. That's what I did. I just plowed right through it. I did planning, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time worrying about planning and making sure the plan was in place. I just
Mm,
saw the needs and I went to help. And then we made little mistakes here and there, trusting the wrong people.
right.
But if you have a dream and you're passionate about that dream, you correct things as you go through, you plow through as you go through. I have a lot of friends that they plan, but they keep talking about the plan. 5 year, they're still talking about plan. 10 year,
Mm,
they're still talking about plan. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
when I spoke to you about this years ago, um, if you look back, I was like, what was I thinking? But I just went right through it because the needs were there and we just wanted to help.
Right.
The school right now, we got about 300 students. We're going to open our high school next year. What we did was we started off at a sixth grade, and
Mm,
the sixth grader graduated to seventh grade, and they went to eighth grade. So what we've done is every year when the child move up to the next grade, we get a what you call a permit to
right.
teach that grade level. So next year we already apply for our high school accreditation from the Ministry of Education.
Oh, okay.
So next year we're gonna have 10th grade. So what we're doing now to give you an update, we're building a science lab for the high school students.
Hmm.
Right now we have about, I would say, 15 classroom, American size classroom, which is like 25 by 30 feet wide. The average of 40 kids in a classroom.
Hmm.
Most all of our chairs are from here. I ship the chairs from America. We don't use blackboard. We use whiteboard for the kids, dry
Hmm.
marker.
Okay.
Um, so we have a brick and mortar, our school building. We don't have any Colombo block. It's glass, straight glass, real glass window. You've seen the photo of it.
Right.
The bathroom, we have marble tiles. It's not that we're rich. We're not trying to show off, but we're trying to tell those kids that we value them.
Right.
That's the message we're sending to the kids. We value you, we respect you, not because you're in Moweh, not because you're in the bush. So we'll put you in any kind of ugly little classroom and call it classroom.
Right.
It's the same. The classroom looked like the classroom in the United States.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I saw pictures of it.
yeah.
I was surprised. Yeah.
So and just a brief the background for that, Joe, is we dedicated a school in San Ysidro when I was a fiscal service director there,
Hmm.
and we spent about $80 million to build the school. At the time, it was back in 2003, and we were dedicating the school, and then I stood there and I was just thinking about my village, the village I grew up in Rivercess. The
Right.
kids are sitting on the floor,
Right.
and there's no window, the classroom, no door, nothing. When it rain, the kids have to like cramp up on the side because the rain come to the classroom. And here
Wow.
I was dedicating an $80 million school, and I was an African guy working
Mhm.
as a fiscal service director. And we the American kids, the classroom, the chalkboard was live. You can just touch it and it comes on.
Mhm.
Uh, you press a button, and then you can have conference with kids in other states. The virtual classroom, everything electronic. And
Hmm.
I was standing there, and Joe, the tears came in my eyes, and I had to hide it. I had to walk away and go in the restroom and kind of wash my face a little bit and come back, and it hurt
So you had
because
a eureka moment immediately during
yeah,
that.
'cause exactly, because
Right.
remember there was a time I was out of job. I think you were trying to hook me up because through your employment agency, and
Right.
all of that thing came rushing back, and that's when I said, you know what, I got to do something. I got to do something, and so I flew. I got my accrued vacation. I put it in my pocket and flew to Liberia, and I went in my village and I started the very school building. It was only 4 classrooms.
Hmm.
We had like 30 kids, and then the news spread in the area, and so we had to build a bigger school. Uh,
Okay.
and now we got 2 school buildings. One is a big church with 6 classrooms. The other is a 2-story buildings, and the rest is history. As we speak right now, we're making bricks for the housing for the teachers because we want to
Hmm.
host the teachers on the campus. And to answer your question about the size of the school, currently we have 25 acres that have been cleared. We have a football field. We have a church with 6 classrooms. We have a 2-story building classroom, and then we have a foundation in the back
Hmm.
for 16 classrooms, preschool, science lab, cafeteria, and a library and a administrative section. So that's where we are right now. And I will pause and entertain any further questions.
So that's a pretty lofty undertaking. I mean, where's your support coming from? Unless you got deep pockets that we don't know of. Where are you getting support,
You
support
know
from
what? Let
to
me tell you
to
something. Let
make
me
this thing
let me tell
happen?
you a secret. You
Uh-huh.
cannot repeat this to anybody. Let me tell you a secret. Since I started this project, I have lost 3 or 4 jobs.
Mhm.
And in the school district, California went through some crisis where there were always layoffs and
Yeah.
so forth. So every time, excuse me.
No, no, I'm listening. I say yeah.
So
Hmm.
every time I get laid off, my accrued vacation alone is enough, and I would just fly right to Liberia and put it in the project.
Mm.
Anytime I get laid off, I go right back to Liberia and put. So that's where the most of the funding. That's what it's been coming from. I haven't had any major support. I had one group that did a fundraising for me in 2017, I believe, in Sacramento. I mean, in Oakland. The lady's name is Inez Wande.
Okay.
With Dr. Butcher, Sam Butcher, and that whole base area surgical group. They did a fundraising for me in 2017. I think it was 17 or 18, and that's what I used to buy the zinc for the big church building that you see.
Okay.
And since that time, I have a couple of friends that chip in here and there, but it's mostly out of pocket.
Right, right. Yeah, because I was thinking, I say, this is a very cash
It is.
intensive project.
It
I
is.
mean, even if you think about recruiting teachers, I mean, the teachers, they didn't take a vow of poverty. You have to pay
No,
them.
no, no.
So,
It's not free.
no,
So
no, it's
here's
not
the
free.
here's the deal. Here, I just recently I filed for my Social Security. I'm 62. Uh, so that's what I'm using to pay my teacher. We have 10 teachers and we have 5 custodial staff. So I have 15 staff, and we pay them we pay them cash. We pay them every day. And
Mhm.
matter of fact, we're the only school, from what I'm understanding, we're the only school in the country that pay people even before the month's end. We haven't fallen behind our salary. We pay them on a regular basis.
Wow.
And to get the high school teacher, Mr. Cassell, we have to build a housing unit. So that's what we're making bricks right now. We got about, I would say, close to 6,000 or 7,000 bricks right now. We're making about 10,000 bricks, and then we'll build the housing unit for the teachers. So that's how we're gonna get good teacher to come to Moweh,
So
because we
it
gave
look
them a
like,
salary, US dollars. Excuse me.
so it's going to be what? Are you building some sort of apartment complex or?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We're building 3 houses. Each of the house we have 10 rooms.
Okay.
So we're gonna have about 30 rooms because we want to host the custodian that work on the campus. We wanted to live on the campus, and then we want to host the teachers. We want to host the principal. But we want to have extra room if they have kids. So let's say, Joe, you come to Moweh
Mhm.
and we want you to teach. We have room for you and your wife and for 2 kids.
Right.
So we do that. We have it for 10 teachers. I mean 10 or 15 teachers, correct. So we figure we need about 30 rooms. And those 30 rooms will have 10 rooms. So we have
So,
enough bricks already on the ground to get construction started next year.
so for now, this seems to be a not-for-profit endeavor.
Yes.
At some point, you have to cross that bridge, and that
Oh,
bridge,
of course. I
that's
mean,
the
look at my
profit
gray hair. I
culture.
can't.
You got
Yeah,
to
I
come up
can't.
with
I can't do this. I
ideas.
can't do this when I pass 65, man.
Yeah, so you got to come up with ideas
Yes.
to monetize some dimension of what you're doing. You understand what
So
I'm
here,
saying?
here, the quick answer to that is the area, uh Boystown is an ancestry homeland. That my great grandfather is he was a friend of Moweh. The name Moweh is actually a Gill man. His name is Moweh, and he came from Nema County and came to visit our whole area. And the story is 150, 100, almost 200 years ago,
Hmm.
the story is that he befriended my ancestor, and they gave him that name. They named the whole area after a Gill man named Moweh, but that area should have been named after my ancestors. So
Okay.
we have a lot of land. So what they did was they gave us 500 acre. And
Mhm.
my uncle just asked me recently, we may have to ask for more land because now we have to do agriculture.
Right. Right.
So what I have done is I talked to a chocolate distributor in San Francisco. I spoke with him and he said, Mr. Mayor, all you got to do, build a farm. We're gonna come and we're gonna look at we're gonna make sure it's organic, and we're gonna market your cocoa as organic. We're hoping to have straight from the farm to the distributor in the United States, but we have to work out some deals with the Liberian Minister of Agriculture and LPMC and stuff like that. So the entrepreneurship part of it
Mhm.
is we're gonna grow coffee. I mean, not coffee. We're gonna grow cocoa, and we're gonna have a distributor in San Francisco. I
Yeah.
already spoke with him, and they're gonna come down and they're gonna test the soil.
Mhm.
They're gonna check out how we're planting the cocoa because they want to certify it's at organic. If they
Yeah.
can certify it's at organic, we got it made. The rest is history.
As all that is so-called free trade.
Yes.
Yeah, free
Yes.
trade umbrella.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
And
we
again,
always
what we
have
want
one
to do
guy.
is what we're
Go ahead.
trying to do. We're trying to bypass all the red tape, so that the guy who's he has a chocolate factory.
Okay.
He has a chocolate factory in the Bay Area, and we're gonna sell directly to him.
Okay.
So that.
But I was thinking, besides cocoa or coffee growing, what about some sort of crop that will accrue immediate benefits? That it's not going to take 2-3 years. It's like 6 months, and then you're ready to harvest.
Yes. So the way it works,
Can you identify those sort of crops?
yes,
Because I'm always in a hurry, you know.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Because of cash flow problem, but the species of cocoa that we're trying to get is about a year and a half. It takes a year and a half to bear fruit. But the first thing we're gonna,
that's not bad at all. No.
No. And there's a company in Liberia that does that. We contract with to germinate the seed. But anyway, that's going into the weeds. But to answer your question, the first year we're gonna grow rice.
Okay.
And then we're gonna grow rice. We're gonna grow cassava, potato, arrow, and the stuff that the kids will eat.
Okay.
So that's the short term. The long term would be a year and a half to grow the cocoa.
Right. Yeah, kids learn how to at least grow something they will eat.
Yes.
In our history, we always grew things that we didn't eat. I mean, Liberians don't eat rubber, but I mean, if you look at how many acres of rubber, when I was growing up, everybody had a rubber farm.
Everybody.
You know.
Look, Joe, I have a little contract here in California, Northern California. The area is called Linden. Linden is in the San Joaquin Valley. And I drove from San Diego to Northern California, and then you know that when you enter the San Joaquin Valley, you drive 300 miles.
Yeah.
And that 300 miles, I didn't see a single rubber tree or anything. I saw food.
Yeah.
I drove let it sink in. I drove 300 miles of flat land, and all I saw was grapes, tomatoes, pecan, cherry trees, grapefruit trees, orange trees, rice field. I mean, you name it. 300 miles. No, I mean, you've driven to San Diego before, right?
LA, I drove to LA to get here, and I know what you're talking about. You see,
the San Joaquin Valley. Yeah.
I drove through that area. Most people,
right.
when people think of California, they usually think about the tech, but they don't know that a major industry and the most important industry in California is agriculture.
It's agriculture.
We ask those guys in Silicon Valley, them, what is the most important industry in California? They will tell you agriculture. Because before the man got behind a computer to do his coding, he had to have breakfast.
Hello.
Where that coming from? The same San Joaquin Valley you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. No, I'm agreeing with you. So to put this into context, those of you, if there are people listening from Liberia or whatever, to put this into context, picture driving from Sierra Leone to Togo nonstop, and you're in farm. And you're not going to see any rubber farm. You see rice farm, you see orange trees, you see just driving from Sierra Leone nonstop all the way to Togo. You're driving past Ivory Coast. I'm talking about 300 miles. That's the distance we're talking about.
Yeah.
And the point it's just to make a point, and that is in Liberia, we grow rubber. We can't eat rubber. We can't even process it. But there's rubber farm everywhere.
Oh yeah.
And so I found that interesting.
It's very bizarre, I would say. Very, very bizarre. But that's what we inherited.
Yes.
Because before we were born, that been there.
Yes.
It's not something that these new guys or the guys before them or the people that have just been part of Liberian history since the 1920s, you know, they decide to set that agenda that the focus will be on rubber when it comes to agriculture.
But and you know something, Mr. Cassette, the other thing that confuses me is I really don't know whether rubber makes money, because I don't know any millionaire in Liberia that made millions from rubber tree. Do you? I know the rich guys when I was living in Liberia, the rich people that I knew, what's his name? He had a fish. What's the guy that had a fishing farm, fishery?
Stephen Maserati.
Yeah, Maserati Group of Company.
Yeah, Stephen Toba. You had a guy called Baromi Morris. He was kind of like the rubber baron. But
yeah,
they never, like you said, they never thought about value addition when it came to rubber.
Yes.
They just took the thing as it was.
Right.
The organic mass and sent it and shipped it.
Right.
And they're still doing it.
Exactly.
I was just reading an article, I think it was probably 6 months or so, when this COVID thing hit. There was a depletion of rubber gloves throughout the Western nations, and they were looking for latex gloves. They just couldn't find it. It was few and far between, as they say. Now, if you had people in Liberia, you know, like the rubber farmers.
Yes.
The first excuse they will have is, oh, well, you know, financing. There's so many sources of financing now throughout the world. Europe, the United States, that will be willing. You'll get together, you have your business plan or whatever, set up a manufacturer, and they will be willing to finance it. The international finance company. Those are the sort of things that they finance.
Yeah.
You see?
Yep.
They were thinking government, you know, that, oh, well, you know, we'll go to the government.
Right.
No. You got so many things you can do that you just do a government bypass.
Right.
Because they've got all these county directors, county managers, or just about, I mean, a whole slew of companies.
Right.
I mean, international, NGOs in Liberia. And those are the things they want to hear. When you tell them, say, well, you know, we have a collective of rubber farmers. We are setting up, our plan is to set up a facility. That facility will manufacture gloves, manufacture condoms, you name it.
Yeah. Plastic products.
Plastic and all that. They will be willing to finance it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it goes back to, I think, what we were saying earlier. The point I was trying to make was the people that have money in Liberia when we were growing up, they were not necessarily rubber farmers. These were people who were producing commodity that we consume locally. Stephen Tower made million because he had a fish farm. I mean, a fish. He did fishery. Everybody eat fish. Yeah. He had to go in the market and buy a fish. I know Hilary Dennis at Denko. He did shipping. Right. You know, the Cooper family. They have farms. The Bright family. I had a chance to work with them when I was a little boy. Alante Marketing Corporation. These were people that, you know, whenever you went to Abijade supermarket or you went to Cinco shopping, the food you saw on the shelves, they made them. Yeah. And believe it or not, when you and I were young, during the Tarbers administration, we used to buy rice on the shelf from Foyer District. They used to package those rice. Yeah. You know, they'll put it. Remember, they used to put it in a plastic and they sell it by pound or whatever. Those were manufactured locally. Yeah. You don't find those anymore. I think a little bit is coming back, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. But isn't that Liberians didn't like the locally produced rice? Their preference.
And it's the best one to eat.
How we used to call it pusawa? Their preference was pusawa during those days from the United States. They wanted to see that made in USA on it.
Yes.
And that's why, I mean, that's one of the root cause of the problem, you know, the political problem that we had in Liberia, because the whole concept of self-sufficiency is like you you went to the drawing board. You said, like, no, I don't want government to be in the way. I'm sure at some point you reach out to them and
Yes.
they screw up, and you just
Yes.
said, well, let me get Lady people alone.
Right.
And you just went ahead
Right.
and doggedly
Right.
went and pursue this, this goal and objective of yours
Right.
to help those, those kids in Moweh.
Right.
And one other question I got for you is the maintenance aspect, because I'm thinking about, I say, how about electricity? I mean, are you using solar panels for the schools, or is it? I know LEC not that far, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
only 200 miles away.
Conversation we're having. We're in the 21st century, but the problems we had in the mid 20th century, we still have it.
Yes. So what we're trying to do is we're taking baby step. The first step is I bought a 30 kilowatt generator. I bought it from Oakland, and I was able to ship it, and it powered the entire campus. And matter of fact, we have enough current to power the village, but it uses gasoline. It uses diesel. So solar panel is the way to go. There's a friend of mine in San Diego. He's an engineer. He visited a school. In 2017, and he wants to build a dam for us. Because when you hear hydro dam, people think you're talking about millions of dollars, but it's not. So he asked me, very simple. He said, is there any water rapids around here? And I said, sure. And I took him there. And he showed me, he said, Danny, you see this rapid right here? I said, yes. He said, all you do, you buy a turbine. They sell the turbine. Some you can get them for like $1,500, and then some of them, the most expensive one that we're going to get would be, it costs about $6,000.
Okay.
So you build a dam, like you use regular cement, regular concrete. You're not going to build, you're not building you're not blocking the river. You build a space for the turbine to fit in. And that little water rapid that come through, it turns the turbine, and you got electricity. I mean, Joe, it was so simple. I couldn't believe it. Wow. And then he showed me a picture of the dam that they built in. He grew up in the country in Maine. And he said, this is electricity. He said, this will give you electricity nonstop. So that would be the cheapest thing to do other than solar panels. The dams cost about the turbine costs about $6,000-$7,000. And then of course we got to get the electrical wire to run it from the river to the campus. So that's what we're going to do. We're gonna use turbine.
Yeah,
and we have a river nearby.
I mentioned solar panels because a lot of these people that might be thinking about helping.
Oh yeah,
they've got this whole concept of environmentally friendly, source of electricity. So when they hear about a turbine, then they start thinking and say, "Oh, no!" And then you said you'll be doing wiring and all that.
Yeah.
And they say, maybe that's not the way to go. But,
well, if we can see, because the reason I mentioned a turbine is because yes, we have. See, my experience the past.
Is it an environmentally friendly turbine?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, it's a hydroelectricity is environmentally friendly.
Okay, then that's
it's hydro, because turbine is just the water run through it and turn it. That's all it is. That's what a turbine is. You're not you're not burning any fuel or anything. It's almost like a windmill. But instead of using the wind, you're using the water to turn the turbine. And then you connect it to the wire, and then you have it's the same thing. It's the same size that they have over there in Robertsfield or Habel. It's a little turbine that you put in the water, and the water runs through it, and it turns the turbine. You got electricity. So, but the problem here is, let me just give you some inside information. When I started this program 10 years ago, I had so much advice. Oh man, let Oprah Winfrey see what you're doing. Let Bill Gates see what you're doing. Talk to the U.S. Embassy. Talk to the French Embassy. Talk to the Swedish Embassy. Go here. Go. And I did all of that. and the people are not interested. I went to the U.S. Embassy, talked to the people I filed for a grant there, and the guy said, your project sounds very, very lofty, but that's not what we fund. I went to the Swedish Embassy. They told me the same thing. French Embassy told me the same thing. The Bill Gates Foundation said the same thing. International Foundation said the same thing. So people say what they want to say, but I'm telling you, those organizations, they know what they want to do. They have their program, and it's very difficult for you to come off the street and just go to them and they give you funding. It doesn't work. It's not as easy. So we just took matter in our own hands, and we just started doing things. And since we started doing things, we took matter in our own. It works. I mean, we built our school. We got 300 kids. We have a modern campus. We have our football field. Our classroom look better than any classroom in Monrovia. I'm trying to put in the internet in the classroom where I will be teaching from here. I'll be doing virtual classes and stuff like that through Zoom or Team, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So if we were sitting around waiting for Bill Gates to give us money, we'll be waiting a long time.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to be. I don't know. I want to meet some of the people that have gotten grants from Bill Gates. I want to see, how did you do it?
No,
So,
there's a friend of mine, a good friend of mine. She's African American, and she got recently. When I say recently, about maybe 3-4 months ago, she got $3 million for her NGO. It's called Black Girls Code. You probably heard of it. She's based in that Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area.
What is her group? What does her group do?
Her group they're basically about bringing young minority girls into the computer industry and teach them how to code. So she got $3 million from this lady. Was it Mrs. Bezos, Jeff Bezos, the richest man? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I think it's cheap. No, Bezos. That's Bezos.
Yeah. I know. She's trying to give away $3 billion. Let me tell you this.
So she did that, but the strategy is, and in fact, this guy who owns eBay, he has his name is Pierre Omida. He gives away money to developing countries, and if you're about, in your case, developing the young folks, through schools and all that. You got to go back a little. You're too close.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Back a little.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Perfecto.
Okay.
Yeah. So you probably just went to the lowest fruits, the one that everybody talk about. That's where you went to, but they've got people, organizations that do it. I don't know if you have a website. If you have a website, perhaps you got your brochures about the school there. Those are the sort of things they'd like to see. Where you want a school to be in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I assume. Yeah, go ahead.
No. What I was going to say was, you're right. A lot of these things has to do with marketing, planning, social media and so forth. I think for me, when I started, I'll tell you a little history. When I started, I went through that period where people were saying, you need a web page. We designed a website. They say that you need to advertise in the paper. We place ad in the paper. They said that I have brochure, and I was mailing things out, making phone calls, went on the radio. It didn't work. It did not work for me. Trust me. Because what we're trying to do. Okay, so the question is, Mr. Mayor, what are you doing? Oh, I'm building a school in a village in Africa, and it's like a red flag right there, because what we're doing, thousands of people are doing what I'm doing. So it's nothing new. But when you start talking about, oh, we want to set up something to bring girls or entrepreneurship or rapists, girls that have been raped or stuff like that, those are buzzwords that people that just be so their wife, they want to hear. That's what, look at Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey went to Africa, and she didn't, I'm sure she get thousands of funding requests, but she went to Africa. And the reason she built that $50 million school in Africa, a lot of people don't understand it, Joe, was because she saw these kids and she asked the little girl, what do you want? And I believe the little girl said she wanted a pencil or she wanted a paper or something so she can do her homework. And that's what blew Oprah Winfrey's socks off. And Oprah said, you know what? I thought she was going to ask me for money for this and that, but she's asking for paper. I mean, education is more valuable to her. So guess what? Oprah went and built, I think, what, a $50 million campus, right? So my story, Joe, my story, you get my story because you know me, you know what I mean? And you've seen the pictures, but people who don't know me, my story is not unique. You know, the story, my story is, we have when you leave Monrovia and you go and when you leave Monrovia, you leave Buchanan, you start going to the rainforest. It's like going back in time. It's like going back to the cave, man. It is kind of sad to hear, but when you have like 80, 90%, 95% illiteracy rate, that's scary. That's my story. And these kids don't know how to read or write. By the time the girls are, like 11 or 13-year-old, they go on the farm. After that, they get married.
Yeah.
And that's what happened all over Liberia. And then Joe, all it takes is for another rebel leader to come and say, hey, I'm gonna give you gun, I want you to fight, and those kids will be rebel. You and I, we're educated. Nobody gonna give us gun to fight, even when we were young. When you go to school, you're intelligent enough to know ain't nobody say, I ain't fighting no war. I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah. So my story is very hard for me to tell my story. My story is not appealing, but that's it. If we don't educate these kids, and you're looking at 85%, 90% illiteracy rate, and I told myself I can't sit around and wait for US Embassy or Gates or Oprah or people to do stuff for me. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it dying. If I'm gonna go broke, Joe, I took my entire lifetime saving and put it on our campus. My wife and I, we put almost $600,000 on our campus. Money, hard-earned money from my pocket.
Yeah, I know.
And this is not money I have sitting in a bank account. This is like, oh, I got paid today, I'm gonna send $5,000. I got paid today, I'm gonna send $3,000. I got paid today. You know what I mean? Every month, when you add it up, it adds up.
Yeah.
And guess what? I love it, because guess what? We don't owe anybody anything. Right. I don't have to go to Bill Gates and say, oh, thank you, Master Bill Gates. Thank you for I'm so happy you give me. No. Is we build it through sweat, tears, and blood.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Joe, if Bill Gates sees it and he want to be a partner, I would say, Mr. Gates, you're welcome. Come on, come help us. So that's my approach. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying, but
I'm with you 100%. I think if I understand what you're saying is, yes, I can do it as much as I can, but it's important that I branch out.
Yeah.
So to answer that, we're gonna build. I'm gonna hire. Once the teacher building is completed, I want to hire a publicist to help me, because that's where my weakness is. You know what I mean? Somebody that can say, okay, Mr. Mayor, you know what? You need to do this. This is, if you're gonna look for money, here's how you do it. This is how you do your this is how you expose your project, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten there yet, because I started off that way and I got burned, and I just got scared and ran away. Let me tell you one last story, and I will let you come in. So in 2010, when I launched this project, they told me I needed to advertise in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to several Christian magazines and I was paying something like $1,100 a month.
Uh-huh.
And they would run my ad every month. But we were not getting anybody, nobody donating anything. But I'm paying $1,100 every month to put an ad in the paper, and we were not getting any leak, no hit. And I did that for a year. And that was a lot of money. And I was like, I could build 3 or 4 classrooms with this kind of money.
Yeah. I know. You know,
go ahead.
With you were saying that when you tell these people that you're building a school in Africa, the first thing they think, oh, well, thousands of people doing it.
Yeah.
But you could use, your school could be unique. It could be one that might be very unique in Liberia. Now, you're saying, I know you already have your vision for it. Most schools in Liberia, the focus is on rote learning. Right, you're teaching kids to memorize and to spew it out during exams. But you could have a dimension of your school that focuses on problem solving. Yeah. Show kids how to solve problems.
Yeah.
And that's the beginning of entrepreneurship, where you don't have to depend on somebody. Self-sufficiency.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you 100%. Let me tell you, I'm with you. I got my education. I got the high point of my education happened when I was in the I think it was in the 6th or 7th grade. There was a missionary that came to Moweh. I was going to school at a low school there, and I was good at memorizing. So they said, "Oh, Mr. Man was clever." Oh, but not knowing, I didn't know nothing. I just used to memorize.
Yeah.
And the lady told me to go in the wood and get a piece of paper and write down the first animal that I see, observe it and write it down. That was the toughest thing that anybody asked me to do.
You see,
and
there you go.
But that was the beginning of comprehension for me. When you have to observe like an ant or like a butterfly or even a squirrel, stand there and watch it and write down what you see, what happened. And that stuck with me. So we want to incorporate stuff like that. Not that I was sending people's kids in the bush, but I'm talking about, they call it linked learning, learn by doing. When you mention something unique, I think our school is the only school in the entire republic that offer free education.
Right.
The only school. I can't think of any school in the history of Liberia that offer free education whereby all the child has to do is show up. No registration fee. We don't charge registration fee. We give them the textbook. Even the uniform they wear when you show up, we put your name down, we measure you. You pick up your uniform within a week or so. The only thing we don't do, we don't feed them because we don't have the money to feed them. But the kids come to school free school fee, no registration, uniform. We gave it to you, everything. The reason is we wanted to remove all obstacles for the kids not coming to school. Now, people criticize me and say, well, Mr. Man, you got to charge them fee. It can't really be free, I had an American friend that said that to me, and it's like he was upset with me that I'm offering free education. So I asked him, I said, well, did your kids go to public school? He said, yes. I said, how much money did you pay? And he was stunned. So I said, in America, the kids here go to school for free. Why would you expect the child in a village in the tropical rainforest to pay school fee when here in America, in a modern society, you ain't paying for your kids to go to school? And that was the end of the conversation. So going back to what you and I discussed earlier, we have to set up an entrepreneurial system where the kids, when they get into 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, they can work. They can do some sort of a work and have some sort of an earning so they can supplement their education. Yeah. That's where the linked learning comes into place.
Exactly. They've got schools in, I think there's a school in Berkeley that teaches entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Entrepreneurialism.
Yes.
And it's something that's gaining traction globally.
Yes.
And that would be perfect for Liberia, where you teach little kids, like you mentioned before, from, I don't know what, seventh grade, but let's say sixth grade.
Yes.
How to solve problems.
Problem solving. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. One of the things that I wanted to do is there's a river, there's a rapid, a river that water used to be crystal clear. We used to drink it like back in the 70s. It was so clear. It came from a mountain. The soil is a mountain in the area, but they're digging gold there now. So the water color has changed, right? And one of the things I was thinking about, like our seventh grader and our eighth grader, for them to start testing the water in the area to see what the level of bacteria and stuff like that. I want to get some science kit, some biology kits and science kits where you can do some magnifying stuff and see if there are little bacteria and stuff in the water. So these kids at a very early age, they can know, this water that you're drinking, these are some of the things that are in it that are bad for you, but it would be like pre-biology kind of thing, right? And you build scientists from that way. You at that early age, when they start detecting, like bacteria and microorganisms in the water and stuff like that, then they open up a curiosity. Say, how do we stop this? How did this happen? You know what I mean? The rivers, then you go up river where the crystal clear water is, and you test that. You test the pH level of this water. So Joe, those are the kind of things that I'm thinking to teach these kids so we can develop scientists at an early age.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I mean, first of all, I've got to give you your propers for the project that you've taken on. So where do you want to see this project, say, in the next 5 years? Let's go to the next 5 years, and then we'll go to 10 years.
Yes.
Where do you want it to be?
Yes. So the next 3 or 4 years, I want to graduate my first high school, because we started sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, all the way. So in a couple of years from now, we want to graduate our first high school. We want the area to score some of the highest on the Y exam. That's my immediate goal.
Okay.
So next year, I'm focusing on academic, because we have the classroom. We already built the infrastructure that we can show off, but the academics, we have to work on that to get the grades up. I'm going to spend a couple of months in Moweh to teach the teachers. I'm taking some educators from here to help them train our teachers, so our teacher can know how to teach. That's immediate. So in the short run, we want to build a housing units for the teacher. That's in the short run also. We want to start our agriculture program. And we want the school to be self-sufficient. I cannot keep funding it. We want to devise some sort of a mechanism in place where that mechanism will generate money for the school. Exactly. That's in the next 3 or 4 years. The campus is designed to hold at least 750 students. We want the school to be a high school magnet school, where all of the kids, when they graduate from high school in a region, we want to bring them on our campus so they can, from the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, we want to be one of the most competitive high school in the area. We don't want to charge tuition. We want our school to remain tuition free, but we want to have an entrepreneurship kind of thing where the 10th grader, 11th grader, 12th grader will help us generate money for the school.
Yeah.
We want to have dormitories for boys and girls for the high school. We want the high school kids to be on the dormitory. We want all of our teachers and all of our workers to be housing on the campus. So in 5 years, we want the school to be self-sufficient.
Okay.
Where I don't have to put any penny in it, where whether it's agriculture, and if we get into agriculture, it's not gonna be rubber. It will be cocoa, and it will be something that we can eat and sell. Right. Which means things that rice, we're gonna have maybe like an orange orchard farm, or any kind of food crops that we can sell. Corn, you name it, that we can eat and sell.
So and you looking at the local and the you looking at the domestic as well as the international market in terms.
Yes, because the domestic market is quick. The domestic market, that's you can feel. I can have 2 truckload of cassava
Mm,
from Moweh, and you know Moweh, the soil is rich. I can have 2 truckload of cassava from Moweh and take it to Buchanan, and we can make 2-3 grams, on that one trip. That's
yeah.
enough money. If we can make 2 or 3 trips a month, that's enough money to pay our teachers and pay everything. So that's what I'm looking at.
Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot, Mr. Menyon. Ladies and gentlemen, we've just been speaking with a visionary here. He's the architect behind. Tell him the name of the school.
The
And
school,
there are some people that will see this video and it will really reach their heart, and
yes,
they will want to make a donation. How do they do it?
okay,
Got a cash app or just go
yeah.
ahead.
So those of us are, if you're watching, my name is Daniel. If I look tired, that's because I work all day. I'm in Northern California. I got up at 5 o'clock this morning. I've been working all day, and I promised Joe I was gonna be online to talk about this. I was in a board meeting. I had to come and so if I look tired, it is like I am tired. But the school name is Daisy Bopah Academy. If you want to help, we have a non-profit organization. Everything is 100% tax deductible. I can send photos. Call me 619-540-8509. That's 619-540-8509. If
Let,
you're interested in donating, we have our
let's do
IRS
it. Let's do it again. Six what?
619
Mm-hmm.
540
540.
8509.
09. And the name of the school, Daisy.
Bopah,
How you spell that?
Bopah, Daisy Bopah Academy. And we are registered in the United States, so your donation is tax deductible. We have our what they call it, the IRS 990 that we publish every year. So if you want to make a large donation and you want to check us out, I can send you that information. We have an annual report that I publish every year. It tells you what we have done, how many students we have. I will send you a photo of the campus. It's a beautiful campus. Most important, I'm looking for partnership, people who wants to go there. I will be happy to go to take you with us. We're looking for volunteer. If you're a teacher and you retire in the United States and you just want to go and help or teach the teachers, we will be happy to have you. And I want to thank Joe for inviting me. Joe is one of my random donor. Every once in a while he would stick a check in the mail for me. I don't even ask him; he just does it. And I just want to embarrass him today. I know he don't like to hear it. So, on a serious note, what we're doing is we feel that education is the way to go. I don't believe that everything that we should leave everything to the government. I think there's something that each of us have to do, or each of us can do. I don't blame the government. I don't fault the government. I don't play the woe is me. I don't believe in pity party or any of that stuff. I don't think what I'm doing is unique. A lot of people are doing it. I encourage people to go in a village and start something there. And if you have any questions, 619-540-8.
That's the taker.
You put it, okay. Oh, there you go. Oh, wow. Okay, excellent, excellent. So again, we have 300 students. We have about 150 girls, and actually the girls are a little bit more than the boys. We have The school is 176 miles from Monrovia. The campus is 25 acre. Again, the campus is concrete building. The kids are using modern classroom, modern chairs. The teachers, we paid our teachers on time. We're not in arrears. The kids have football. There's a need for lunch program. We don't have the money to feed the kids, but if God moves your heart and you want to donate food money, we can buy food and cook food on the campus for the kids. If you want to sponsor a teacher, we pay our teacher $100 a month. We got 10 teachers. We're gonna have 4 new teachers coming on board, so we're gonna have 14 teachers. We have 5 custodial staff to clean the windows, clean the bathroom, clean the campus. Maintenance is key. Our school building is clean. I mean, I can send you photos for you to take a look at it. As you can see, I'm passionate about my school. Don't ask me for my school if you don't want to hear it.
I like that passion. I like it.
Yeah. So, what I'm doing again is not unique. Anybody can do it. I'm just happy that God has opened this door for me to be a blessing to those children. They have a fighting chance. We're giving them a fighting chance. We're actually giving them a fighting chance because I grew up there and I just want to give back. And, again, if you call me, the number that you see there, I will send you, I will text you the pictures of the campus so you can take a look at it yourself.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Daniel. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you look at the ticker, you'll see the number for the Daisy Bopah Academy. It's in Moweh, which is in Rivercess, I believe.
Yes.
It's 619-540-8509.
Oh, Joe, one last thing before we go. Because our campus is so modern, the Liberian government, through the West African Examination Council, has selected our campus to be used for the West African Examinations Center. So in the whole region, our campus is where the tests are being administered, and we feed the kids. We feed every single children as far as Moweh time. They come and take the test. We feed them. We don't ask a penny from the government. We have not received any money from the government. We don't expect to receive any money from the government.
You allow them to use the testing center for WIAC for free?
Yeah. Oh, because I believe in education, Joe. I mean, why would I charge the government? I believe in education. It's an honor. It's an honor for me to serve my government. It's an honor for me to give back to my government. I love Liberia.
The voice of Liberia, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, when they told me, Mr. Menyon, can we use your campus? I said, hallelujah, come on. I mean, you should see photo of my campus. I mean, to see the children sitting in the same chair that the kids in America sitting in to take exam on our campus. It's an honor. It's an honor. So the whole region, Moweh Town, Bojise Town, Bo Town, Campbell Town goes on. That whole Rivercess region on the side of Moweh, they used our campus this year. Unfortunately, the exam was postponed because of the accident. But we're honored. We are honored to serve the government. We're honored to serve those kids in our region. So yes, our campus is being used as a testing center for the government and for all of the school. And our school is fully accredited by the Ministry of Education. We're going to be high school next year.
Okay. Well, again, thanks for giving us your time. I know this evening I pretty much had to pull you here because you were like, no, man, I got some other things to do. I said, no. You got to come.
Yes.
So, Daniel, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So, okay, we'll be seeing you soon to do a follow-up.
Yeah, and say hello to the wife for me. God bless you, my brother.
Definitely will do. Appreciate you, bro.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.